Did not understand the question.
Exactly. So if you don't understand the scenario-based question, you can ask, please repeat the question or ask for inputs. What are the inputs? Okay. Now, how many input files do we have?
In it's only Excel file, Bajrang.
Okay. So there is one Excel file. Can you guys see the screen or not?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I hope now it's more clear. Okay. One Excel file you have as input. So how many robots do we have? How many robots do we have for processing it?
Two bots, sir.
See, while working with this, we will not give out a solution, but we will actually discuss with an interviewer. Okay, don't remember to just give a solution. Also remember to discuss on what is the scenario that they are looking for. Can you have a better approach? And can you have a better solution for that? Okay. Now, how many, at what times the bot is starting? At what times the bot is starting?
Same time, sir. Well, exactly they not mention the timing part, but they told me that bot one is need to fetching only 10 transaction which they dispatch itself, and bot two is need
So,
to take.
do we have two dispatchers and two performers, or only one process that is doing both dispatching and performing?
It's a sir. Means two performer, two dispatcher.
Okay. See, the best way to work with this is, again, I'm telling as per this scenario, it cannot work on each and every scenario. Now, there can be a deadlock for Excel. If there is only one Excel that is getting tried by two robots. How many of you know that? Please unmute and talk.
Yes, Vajrang.
What is deadlock, Bajrang?
Someone said yes. What is deadlock?
Yeah. So Vajrang, it's like so there is one file and like two people are trying to access the same file at the same time. So in
Hmm.
that case, we need to use log for that, so that one person can take a log and can work on it. The other person will wait at that time till that lock is released. So once that one lock is released, then the other person will take the lock on that particular file and will start working on it.
Okay. Now, if both bots are
Bajrang,
start,
in this scenario means they not mention timing thing.
Mhm. It's very important regarding the timing thing, because if you're not having timing, there is a different approach that you need to take. If there is a timing, then there is a different approach that you need to take.
Okay.
Okay. See, all we are trying to do is how to make sure that the bot is processing properly without any issues.
Okay.
Okay. First thing, if two dispatchers we have, okay, that is D1, D2, we should also have two performers is what you are saying. Is it right?
Yes, Bajrang.
Now for these to accommodate, see, one process or one bot cannot get the values or cannot get queue items from multiple queues. If you ask me, do you know UiPath orchestrator queues from where we are fetching the data?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so there are queues. So again, queue is like a stack of items from where we need to pick up items to process. Okay, now here also we should have two items, Q1 and Q2. So Q1 should work with P1 and D1. Q2 should work with P2 and D2.
And Bajrang, they also mentioned we have only one queue.
Hmm.
We
Okay,
don't have any two queue.
exactly. So if you don't have two queues, then you need to mention or you need to see uh, what okay, there should be some kind of uh, key. For example, process bot. Let's assume that there are different keys in the queues. So here we can go with UiPath, not UiPath, cloud.uipath.com. If you want to learn UiPath from basic, first check. Go to this one. Okay, and here we go. Okay, so this is my default tenant. And here are my queues. Okay, now each and everything has their own values. If you see view transactions, can you see that there are transactions, view details? First name and company, role in company is the input. So along with this input, we need to have in Q1, there need to be some specific content. Or you can also check like um, there is something called reference key. So what this reference key will do,
It adds a unique reference to the items in the queue.
it need not add only unique reference, but it also can add data. Okay, what if we just add a reference key to process? Reference key should be P1 and this should be P2. So when we are creating two processes, for the first process we will call items only with P1. For the second process we will call only items with P2. Okay, instead of reference having this item, let's have it with this item. Now what's happening?
So Bajrang, in this scenario, like when we are talking about queue, reference number is generated automatically, or we are creating that number?
See, anything reference item specific content is what you create for yourself. It's not all generated automatically.
Okay.
Okay.
Means we can generate reference number in this scenario, and we need to pick according to reference number.
Yeah, that can be done, right?
Okay.
Uh, can you please repeat what is this reference key?
Okay. So for every transaction, there will be a reference key.
Okay.
Okay. So for every queue item, you can see it. If you keep it empty, it will be empty. If you don't keep it empty, then you will have some data, new transactions.
Okay.
Can
Does
you
that
see?
have field?
Yeah,
No, right?
yeah. These are empty references. Now, if I
Okay.
want P1 to be executed, so I will mention the key over there. So there should be some identifier. that it should go for P1.
Okay.
There should be some identifier that it should go for P2, or else how it will do.
But usually queue is like first come first serve basis, right? So using
Yes.
the reference key, can you just go to the another item?
Yeah.
You can
So
jump the queue.
so what you can do, let's go ahead and see. UiPath.
And Bajrang, how can we create a reference key and through which activity we can do that?
Same add queue items only. There is no separate activity for it.
Will you please repeat what you said?
There is no separate activity. It will be the
Okay,
same, like how
okay.
you add queue item, the same one.
In property fields of
But
RQ
how
items,
can we
and
generate that reference number through AddQ item?
Just a second. So let's start with the process.
Because Bajrang, in interviewer they ask scenario based question in queues part
Hmm,
every time.
that's fine. You just need to understand the queue concept for that better. So let's start with the bot and process. Yeah. So I'll just add it up in my GitHub. Okay, show in Explorer. Okay, okay. Team 7. Yep. New folder. Okay. So we'll create everything. It's not only about one performer, but we'll create everything. Okay. So let's go
Bajrang,
ahead.
hi Bajrang.
Yes, tell me.
Bajrang, so we are not like aware of what is performer dispatcher.
No, those are
So
just codes. It's a just XML file. Okay. So we are calling it different. So see, okay, I got your point. Now, by the name itself, what dispatcher is what you think? Can you please answer? Dispatcher.
Dispatcher means we are means sending the data to queue.
Okay. It's not sending the data to queue. It's assigning the work to some other process.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So let's assume that you're doing projects, right? In that projects, there are Excel files where you are getting the data and you are processing. Okay. So if you work alone, then it will be how many items can we work? So it will, let's say that if you are working on for 30 items, it's taking 5 minutes. What if there are 50,000 items? Can you keep your bot like that and keep it working, or what exactly can we do? And moreover, this is the concept of multibot as well. This is a multibot concept. So what do you mean by
Again,
multibot? Again, what do
in
you mean?
interview they asked the same question: what is a multi-board architecture?
Exactly. So if a process is executed by a single, like if the complete step from step 1 to step 10, if it is executing from one process, that is single bot. If it is divided, for example, it is divided into two sub process, dispatcher and performer. So what dispatcher will do is it will add items to queue or add items for performers to process. Okay. Performer will get the data from where dispatcher have kept it, most probably at queue, get only one item and perform it. Okay.
So basically what you're saying that when we are adding the data, so to the queue from the Excel sheets, so that comes under dispatcher, and after when we are calling the data from the queue or sys data, then that comes under performer.
Exactly.
Okay,
Normally we have one dispatcher and multiple performers.
okay, okay.
So let's just okay. I do give this example for all my team members on the first day, but checking with the current team, I thought maybe it needs time for people for you to understand what is the concept and all. Do you know how? So earlier we used to go to theaters to get movie tickets. Even now we are going. So what exactly is your step, or how exactly are what are your steps? So let's take a scenario. Watching a movie. Movie is my end goal. Okay. So what are the things that are involved? And can you please tell me the list of steps that are involved?
Firstly, we are book a ticket.
Booking a ticket. Okay. This will be more
Then we are
entertaining
going for a,
if this will be
On that
more
then we are
entertaining
same
if
seat
everyone
can be
will
the same.
speak. Or else just type in the chat. Okay, even that will work if you don't want to talk. Even just type it.
No, first I think if we are doing it from online, then first we'll look for the in the browser, we'll search for the movie that we want.
Let's assume that this is offline. You're going to a theater.
Okay, so first we'll look for the price of the movie.
Price is already fixed. There is nothing to check in it.
then we need to stand in a queue
Okay.
if there is a line.
Okay. So person need to stand in a queue, right?
Yes.
Okay. Which queue?
There may be multiple queue or a single queue.
So can you stand in multiple queues at a single time?
No, no, we can stand only one queue.
Okay. Stand in one queue. If there are five movies and there are five queues, you cannot stand in five queues at a time, right? You can stand only in one queue to get one ticket. Okay. Now, for you to have a ticket, what theater should be prepared with, or movie theater should be prepared with?
There should be one person issuing the tickets.
Okay. Issue tickets. One person issues tickets. So, will he have? Can he assign
Same.
it to multiple? Like, can
Kya?
actually please keep
Same seat.
yourself in mute. Okay. Yeah, Deepak, tell me.
Same seat cannot. I mean, he has to look after that. Same seat is not assigned to two people. I mean,
There will not be two seats with same number. So one person need to get one ticket only. So here are the restriction. Booking a ticket, the restriction is one person can get only one ticket. Okay. Now this can this one person issue multiple tickets to single ticket to multiple people?
No.
Why can't?
No, we have a condition. Like one
I am
person get.
not asking the same ticket, but we have
Yes,
multiple
yes,
tickets.
yes, yes, yeah. Single or many tickets.
Okay. Now, see, one person acting like a dispatcher telling someone where should someone go sit and watch the movie. Why? If they
because
don't
it
know,
knows that
if they don't
because
know
it
simply that where should they go, I may like a seat where you are already sitting in, and that will be a clash between both of us. Like I just want to sit over here and you already sat here,
Yes, yes.
right? Then for that, we were assigning only one ticket with specific ID to one person. And one person cannot sit in multiple seats. He can sit only in one seat. Is it right? Now,
Yes.
now taking this into consideration, can we take this person, one person gets only one ticket. Can we take this person as a dispatcher who is dispatching the work?
Yes.
Okay. But everyone are going to dispatcher to get a work. Ticket collector or person who is giving a ticket is not coming to you to give a ticket. You are going to dispatcher to get a ticket. Do you want me to explain it again or did you understand?
Explain this again once more.
Yes.
Okay. Are you going to the counter or counter is coming to you?
We are going to the counter.
So can you say counter as a dispatcher where it's placed at one place and multiple people are going and collecting the tickets over there to watch movie?
Correct. Yes. Yes.
Okay, so that's a dispatcher process. So the only task for a dispatcher is it should create work for some other process to work on. Okay, now here we have performers. Okay, person P1. Okay, now how can we decide which person gets the first ticket?
The person who has gone to the dispatcher for the first time,
Hmm,
so he will receive the ticket first.
exactly. So we will go at first come first serve basis.
Correct.
Okay. If P1 or bot 1 goes first to orchestrator queue and asks for a ticket, then bot 1 will get the first item. If bot 2 goes first, then bot 2 will go the first item, will get the first item.
యూస్ని అట్లనే అంటారు.
Okay, Sindhura, please keep yourself in
ఏమో ఫిఫో అంటే అంతే, ఫస్ట్ ఇన్ ఫస్ట్ అవుట్.
mute. Yeah. So yes, FIFO is first in first out. But yeah. So again, first come first serve or first come first in first out. You can check something like here. Okay, now this is the same way how we are working with queues also. So what your interviewer said, that okay, there are 20 items in your Excel. So let's go ahead and create those items as well. So question based scenario, new Excel, Excel worksheet. Okay, I think this is not coming to me. Okay, so this is input data. Now in this data, I have 1 to 10 items and 20 to 30 items. Let's assume ID 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so here we go 6. Okay, so we have 20 items now. We need to process these 20 items. So what do you mean by processing? Just trying to get the data and adding the data. See, when you are using orchestrator queues, you should not use the same Excel to write the data because that will again create a deadlock. You can read data from multiple machines using read-only access. So now how can you say if there are multiple dispatchers, how can you say which item will be picked by which dispatcher bot? Okay, now in queues you have only first come first serve basis, but in Excel you don't have that concept, right? It can give data to whoever accesses it. Do you want me to repeat that point again?
Yes,
Yes, because from Excel only we are going to take the data and put it in the queue, right?
Hmm,
Create a data table and then we are going to create a queue and add item to the queue.
yes.
true.
So
Now, how can we differentiate that both bots will not add the same information?
So we can tell to interviewer that in Excel we don't have a concept like which item will picked by which robot. We have only data
We can
table.
make use of reference instead of adding duplicate items to the queue.
That's correct. But is there a concept that only first 10 items should be picked up by D1 and for last 20, 10 items should be picked up by D2, or is there no such information given?
don't know.
No, person who
So
Akshay, yeah.
person, what can you, what is the best answer we can tell to him?
Again, see, I am not discussing about answers over here. If you have observed closely, I never
Okay,
said.
means we can say like that we do not have a concept of which bot
So instead of
will
instead of
dispatch.
saying that we don't have a concept, you can just say that okay, there will be deadlock. But why are you using two dispatchers? Why can't you just go with one dispatcher that actually reads the Excel file and keeps it in the queue, and two performers will actually perform it for you?
Okay.
Okay, because then there will not be any deadlock, right? Only one dispatcher will sit and extract the data, and it will work.
This is a good practice.
Yes. So now you will not have any duplication as well.
And
Okay.
item volume can be anything.
Yeah, you're
Like
just
we have only.
you're just adding information to the queue. How much time can it take? Even if there are 50,000 items, it will not take more than 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay.
And only one process is working, so there will not be a case of duplication over there. And even if you find that there can be a duplication, so here is the difference. So if you are going with this one, question scenario, select a folder. We are selecting a folder. Dispatcher. Okay. So this is a Windows legacy. Okay. Start a blank process. Maybe I can just go for a background process for this because I don't need any UI interaction for this one, right? So I can just go with a background process. So what is the difference between background process and a foreground process?
Background background process can run at the background. I mean, it will not affect. We can work on different processes altogether at the same time. We can work on a foreground process also. So
It
it
will
will be
not have
running.
any UI interaction items like
Yeah.
click
Excellent.
this items or type into like that.
So how many background process can a system accommodate? For example, now you're saying that
Based on
background
your
process. Sorry,
CPU
Multiple.
capacity
Yeah.
or number of
what is the
CPUs.
ideal scenario?
4 to 5.
10 is the answer that's given by UiPath.
Okay.
Okay, you can have 10 background process and then there can be only one foreground process.
On foreground, yes.
Yes, okay. So just say that this was the answer given by UiPath in one of their tech talks. But again, we haven't implemented too many dispatches and too many performers without unattended bot. Sorry, within a background process. Okay, okay. Let me
Okay.
just close it. Okay. So here we have press close. Okay, background process we have.
Bajrang, one more question.
Tell me,
Uh,
please.
in background, if we are using Excel,
Hmm.
and will the user be able to use the Excel again in the foreground as well?
Excel is a separate identity that you are maintaining. So, you like as I have said, you cannot sit. Multiple people cannot sit on uh, one seat. Is it right? They need to have their own
Yeah.
unique seats. So
Yeah,
when
but
you are
it is not the
accessing,
same Excel file.
When it's not the same Excel file, yes, they can.
Okay.
There is no restriction on that.
Okay. Yeah, thanks.
Okay. I am really checking why this is having a problem today. So UiPath Studio. So for our process, how many process do we need to create? What is your idea?
Two, I think P1 and P2 they have mentioned. So,
So
I
we
mean, one process we will develop one process only, but because it has to work on the.
We need to make only one performer, then we can apply if condition here, like which reference number need to pick by which one.
So the best thing about multi-bot concept is, though there is only one dispatcher, there can be n number of performers. So all the 50 machines right now, which are who are connected right now, can act as performers, and I can be only the dispatcher who is delivering the content. Okay. And there is one more question, like, okay, now I have 1,000 items in the Excel. I want to fetch only 100 items. What is the approach? So you need to pick again. Are you iterating the items or are you getting the items? How exactly are you getting is what important. So let's go with, not sure why this is stuck completely. Let me just close some items. Yeah.
Like Vajrang, in this scenario, which I asked, if we are using add queue transaction,
Hmm.
then according to that we can use to dispatcher if we are iterating the
Add
transaction.
add transaction item again. That's a uh, tricky question. Now, when you are adding a transaction item, you are dealing only with one item. So, do you know the
Okay.
difference between adding queue items and adding transaction items? So, when it
Yes, yes.
okay, I'm asking for everyone. So, do you know the difference between adding a
No, we don't know. I don't know.
We know adding queue item, we know. Transaction item.
I know get transaction item, not adding transaction.
I think adding the transaction item would set the status to in progress.
exactly? So, what exactly will happen is add queue item. Okay, will add items in new state. Okay, it will add items to new state. Some other process will pick it to process. Some other will pick it. Then it will be in progress state. Okay, so this is the condition of add queue item. So now add transaction item. What this will do? It will add the item, but it will add in progress state. So when it is in progress state, can some other bot come and access this item?
No,
No.
Why? Because
it has already been processed and it is in.
it is already in progress state. It is not in new state. Normally, when we see
Yes,
every item that we are picking up is not an in progress item. Those are new items to
yes,
work on.
yes, yes.
Okay, so that is the condition for this. And adding a transaction item will first add the item, but in progress state, or else it will add a new item and immediately it will change it to in progress state. It will not give others a chance to change it to in progress. Okay, so using this, what can exactly happen is, see, now you are working on Excel and your bot need to add items to queue, but you don't want to wait for the transaction to be completed, or you don't want to wait for adding all the items, but you are working with one item at a time. Or else I can give some example like this. You are given some work for the project, is it right?
Yes, user.
Okay. Now, are you creating work for yourself and are you working for it, or someone else is giving it for you?
Someone else is given, sir.
So if you don't have that someone else, then who will create it? If there is no dispatcher bot, then who will create? You need to create your own transaction item to process
Yes, yes.
because you have the data. Only queue concept is not there, but still you need to add the queue, add the items to queue. Okay, so here while adding it to queues, you will add items to in progress state. And what is the output for this one?
Queue
It will
item.
be transaction queue item. Yeah, queue item.
Transaction queue item. So what is the output for add queue item?
It will come as same output, but it will come as an array.
It will come as an object
Okay.
with stating that data is stored in orchestrator queue. Okay. See, when we are going with scenario-based questions, you cannot work with only one concept. You cannot say that, okay, I have an essence statement and this is enough to work on this scenario. See, even in the projects right now that you are working on, are you working only on two, three activities?
No.
There
It
are
is
n
involving Excel automation,
exactly. There are
web
n number of
automation,
items, n
mail
number of
automation.
items. Yeah, correct. So that's how you need to understand or think about these particular concepts, or you need to think about the scenarios. And while working with scenarios, if you know the basics, then everything is correct. There is no right answer and no wrong answer. If you know the concept of unique items, like, okay, if there are unique items, then it should have a reference item that should be unique. That's how unique is defined. Okay, so if you know this concept, then you can say that you can give out any answer that is related to it. Is it right?
Yes.
Okay, so know the concepts than this answer. So we started with what? We started with an Excel with one dispatch, two dispatches, and two performers, and we are discussing on okay. Now that we don't require two dispatches, why exactly do we require? Now we can have only one dispatcher that can actually dispatch it to two queues. Can we dispatch it to two queues? Can one dispatcher dispatch the item to two queues?
Yeah, you can dispatch to n number of queue. It should be available in your orchestrator.
Exactly. So if I have these two queues, okay, now I have this one queues. I can send the data to all my queues. One dispatcher. Okay, now ticket counter. Let's say that these are ticket counters. Okay, now for this ticket counters to get that bunch of tickets, someone need to assign the tickets to them, right? From where they have some storage, where they are picking up the tickets from to distribute to others. So if you consider even these as dispatchers as transaction queues, or if you can see that there are 1,000 tickets, and for each counter, for example, if you are going for an event, there will be 10 different ticket counters. So will 10 different ticket counters will have same IDs on them?
No.
So they will distribute it within themselves, right? Okay, first 1,000 you need to sell, then next 1,000 you need to sell. Okay, all the tickets are unique, so there can only be 10,000 tickets at the end. In the same way, I can distribute my work to all the queue items. So let's just see. So this is a dispatcher, and this is a background process, by the way. So I'll just go ahead and then create this. Okay. Create. I need to check my CPU. Okay, here we go. Now, what are the activities we have to read? See, these are one of the important, or these are some of the important questions that people are getting now in the interviews. Like with the modern activities, you are also having Excel scope rather than the modern Excel scope is different from that of a uh, classic Excel scope. So you just need to know what is the difference and how to work on it. Just try to have an understanding. If you are working for past 3 to 4 years or 2 years, if you're saying that, then you can go straight away saying that, okay, I worked on the classic components. Okay, okay, this is
Then, sir,
actually.
uh, maybe interview asked like, have you used a modern design activity?
Yeah, you can say that no, right
And
now the projects right now that we are working on due to the maintenance. See, if there is something new, there is no requirement that I need to go with modern activities
okay,
until and unless the team is completely aware of it. Because let's say that there are 10 members in a team and only one person know modern activities. Is it a good practice for the complete team to go ahead with modern activities?
no,
Why is it so?
But still, it's the same, right? It's not like completely new. Or whoever knows the custom activities can learn modern very easily by the time they use
Again,
for some
the
reason.
concepts will come with respect to the library versions. If you are using
Yeah.
2019.1 prior to that versions, those are classic. Okay, the latest versions out of or after 2021.19 or 2019 version, those are modern activities, and modern activities may have some bugs. You never know. Now, if I ask someone to work with Excel, let's say even I find it very difficult sometimes to work with modern activities because the concepts are new to me. Maybe I can learn, but let's say that if it is in production, I want to have I want to check what is the issue, and if I'm using modern activities, I don't know how and things are configured. Then what will you do? The person who developed it actually left the organization. So these are the questions for solution architects. Normally, what we'll have. Now, if you are a solution architect, then how will you deal with this situation? Go ahead, answer please.
If
Yes, we
they're
have
able to
time.
handle all the activities with the custom, then yes, it should be fine to go with the custom activities
Mm-hmm.
until and unless it's really necessary. There is
Okay,
something
okay,
object repository or something we need to use the
okay,
modern activity, then we can go ahead.
okay, okay, fine. So normally what we do in a team is, see, first thing, I just enabled you for the first 1 or 2 weeks with what is the current process. I didn't go directly into the code. I didn't start with the UiPath and I didn't write a Excel or UiPath code. Is that what something I have done for your team?
Yes.
Is it yes? I did directly go into the code.
No, 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 no. Sorry. Sorry, sorry. No,
no.
no.
Okay. The reason because everyone need to come to one platform where from there I can take the team to the next level. Okay. So that's the reason we need to have proper KT sessions as well as proper team sessions. And once the team is aware, and also you need to check whether the activities are having bugs. Okay, now that Excel activities are there for the past 4 years, those are pretty stable now. Now, what are the advantages we have with the new process or with the new activities? So all these things you need to take into consideration. You cannot just, if someone says that, okay, now we have modern activities, go ahead and use it. And if you use it, there can be multiple issues you can face. Now, who's dealing with it without a standard procedure?
Like Vajrang, in SDD, we are also mentioning which means which Excel version or which web
True.
automation
Yeah,
version we will use in.
exactly. We will definitely use them.
Okay.
We cannot see each and everything that we work for a project will be mentioned in the SDD, solution design document.
Okay.
So how many of you know what is solution design document, or are you still unaware of what is solution? Did we have a session on solution design document earlier?
No.
No.
Okay. Then what I'll do, I'll create a solution design document tomorrow session. But I'll give you a what can we say? Let's see something online. If you can get it, or else let's also see if I can get it for you. Teams. I'll search for SGD. Okay, stock price solution design document. Okay, this is the file that we have. Ambika, please can you keep yourself in turn off the
Yeah,
video? Thank you.
it was by mistake. Sorry.
No problem.
Just one question I need to ask is in RE framework, should we always use the queue or is there anything else I can use?
RE framework is a
Like
structure.
Excel?
RE framework is a
Yeah.
structure by default built on queues. If you want to use Excel, you can use it. If you want to use list of activities, you can use it. If you want to use only characters, if there is a word, and if you want to take each character as a transaction, even that you can use.
Okay.
Open file. So I'll give you this SDD. So go ahead and check in the chat. Okay. And then you can find the values. STD 2022. So this is the one that we have created. So let's go ahead and check it after some time. Okay. Now let's first complete this part. What are we working on? Teams notes. Okay. I need to still create a background process for this, and this is killing my time. Okay. Background process. Okay. I'm sorry guys. This UiPath is killing my time. Let's go with others questions and then let's close it. Tomorrow we'll work with both deployment as well as creating of the code. I'll be ready for it.
Vajrang, what is the reference that we can use while adding items to the queue? I
Anything.
know that we can take account number or any request ID that is from
Any
the Excel.
unique item that will help you to identify what item it is, because you cannot
Okay,
always search for
okay, okay, before
specific
adding, but
content.
I want to make sure that if there are any items with that state in the queue using get queue items activity, and then I will add. So in that case, how can I do?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Okay, so first I want to make sure that there are no items in that queue with that particular reference
Hmm.
and with that particular states,
Hmm.
and then only I will add items to my queue with that reference.
Okay, now if you want to find if there is an item, find for duplication. Now what you need to do is you need to first get queue item, and in that there is an option for you to add reference. So okay, now if you get some output out of this get queue item, then it means that the item is available. Okay, if you get null value, then there is no such item. Then you can use add queue item next to this. So here, uh, if there is no such item, then you can go ahead and use add queue item. So we can use an if condition for this.
Yeah.
Okay, there is one more concept. In add queue item, there is a continue on error property. Okay, so but this will execute even if the orchestrator fails to add queue item. So this shouldn't be used always, but this is the way how you can also try. Add queue item, if you are adding reference item with duplicates, then it will throw an error that this queue is already, this item is already available. Now, if you check continue on error, it will just ignore the error and it will go for the next item. So you should ideally be checking here. So this is the best practice and this is not
Yeah.
so best practice. Okay, Amika? No, not Amika. This is Sindura. Yeah.
Uh,
Bajrang, can you show all these examples in the code
Tomorrow.
once?
The time is already
Yeah, yeah.
9.
Sure, sure. Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
Actually, my question is, I have tried something like this. I kept a reference as uh, daytime now dot and current time,
Mhm.
and I used get queue item activity with the current reference.
Mhm.
So, and again, I have looped through the data table, and if there are no items, I have looped the data table and added items to the queue with that reference.
Okay.
So for the second,
One thing. Datetime now
okay,
dot now will always give you a new item because every second is different. Every millisecond is different. So when you are
okay, what
adding a
is the best
reference,
reference can I add here?
add a unique item that you create for yourself, or you can just add, for example, today I want so whatever items that I add today will be with today's date, so that can be a reference. But date time not dot now will give you unique item every time, unique reference.
Okay.
Okay, so if you are giving that, then just understand that every second, even now, from the next second is different.
Correct. Assume that I'm giving only the date, not the time.
Yeah, then you
It
cannot give
works
unique
for
reference,
day.
right?
Okay.
Then you cannot give unique reference because for a day you can have 1,000 items.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Vajrang, I have one question here. Like, if you have multiple inputs and we are
Multiple
using only,
sheets, multiple sheets.
yeah, multiple Excel, we can say.
Okay. Read all the Excel files or
Okay.
and add the items in for loop.
Okay. Like, we have only one queue and we need to put all the information in one queue.
Yeah.
But it will be in a sequence way. Like, first seat transaction will be means in top order,
Hmm.
and how we can manage these orders.
Give
It
correct
will
example. Give correct example, please, Akshay.
okay, sir. Okay.
You don't have an example for it?
No, just I am trying to explain you. Like, if you have
No,
multiple
no.
Excel,
See, if you have multiple Excel
because sir, in
files,
interviewer they actually
hmm,
means ask a multiple scenario question in
exactly.
especially
See,
queue
whenever you are
queue
asking
topic.
me, whenever you are asking me a question, I'm asking you back what exactly do you want because I know the concepts of queue. Okay, so if you want to add the Excel, add all the sheets items to Excel or to queue, I will just read all the sheets and I will add it. What's wrong in that? I will keep an array for all the sheet names and I will iterate for all the sheets and I will
No,
add
no,
it.
just like I just want in a sequence way. Like, firstly, I read a seat one,
Hmm.
and I need a transaction first in first 10 item, and after that another seat in a sequence way. I need a data.
Okay, so there is an Excel sheet. Okay, so now let's assume that this is my Excel sheet. What do you want?
We
Tell me.
can discuss tomorrow, Vajran,
No, no,
as
go
well.
ahead. Go ahead, go ahead. Now this is my sheet. Go ahead.
Yeah. In sheet 2, we have another 20 items,
Okay.
it can be any workbook as well. But we are assuming that
Mm.
sheet 2 is a workbook.
Okay.
And if we are uploading to sheet data to queue, firstly, I need first 10 transition will be first in queue,
Are these two
like in
unique
20
items?
item.
Are these two unique items like identical items?
We
Like
can create unique item.
no, no. Are these two sheets? Are they identical? Like whatever data I have in sheet one, is it the same data in sheet two?
No, no, it is different.
Okay. Now, are you having a single process or multiple dispatcher bots? Like, okay, now I have one dispatcher bot reading only sheet one and the other sheet bot dispatching reading only sheet two. What is the scenario?
We can use one dispatcher if we want to perform this activity.
So you want one dispatcher bot. From sheet one, it should read only 10 items. From sheet two, it should read only from 12 to 20 items. Is that what you're telling?
No, no, Bajrang. Actually, I'm just saying that,
Mm.
if you are reading sheet one data,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Firstly, it will put all the data in a queue. And if you are reading sheet two again,
Mm.
then I need that data after 20 item in a queue.
So if I'm adding all the items over here, okay, I have added it. So from sheet 2, I read the information. Then what should I do? What is the condition? See, guys, if you are able to understand this question, please answer. I'm actually looking at what is his requirement.
So Bajrang, what I can understand is that
Mm.
first he wants to add the first 20 items in the queue,
Okay.
and then from sheet 2 again all the 20 items, but then he wants it to be like first 20 item from the sheet 1, and then from the 21st item would be the second item from the sheet 2, like that
So
in a
will
sequence.
so will the queue will remain the same or it will be different?
It will be same queue version.
See, one thing that I would like to say, I am not sure which idiot have asked this question for you. Okay, if you are reading all the details from here, if you are running the bot, first thing is you will add all the items using a for loop or add bulk item to queue. Then you are
Okay,
using
okay.
sheet 2 again, then you are just adding the items. So what's wrong in doing that? If the question I have is if both items or both sheets have duplicates, or if sheet 1 like ID 1 and sheet 2 also has ID 1, then there can be duplication of the items, right? Like both items will be added twice. Items will be added twice to process.
No, Bajrang, just I am asking in which order queue will upload the data.
Whichever order you write the code. For example, you have first read sheet 1, then if you write add items to queue, then sheet 1 data will be updated. If you have
Okay, like it will not happen like if we are reading a sheet 2 data,
hmm,
then it will not come in first 20 transaction.
it can come. If you are reading sheet 2 first, then it can come in first 20 transactions.
Okay, okay, okay. I got the point. That's what I am asking.
Okay.
Vajan, sorry, on
Yes,
top of that, I mean, you just mentioned one point. So if we have if we have same items in sheet 1 and sheet 2,
correct.
for example, you add 1 to 20 items in share. So when you are adding the items from sheet 2 in the
Hmm,
queue,
hmm.
so how you are going to check whether that item is already existing in the queue or not?
This way. So while adding, we will also add this one as a reference item. This is unique, right? For this both.
Okay, it will act as a tag. I mean, when you are adding sheet 1, you will put some tags, right? Kind of reference you are saying.
You can keep it as a tag, but also see these sheet 1 and sheet 2 are different, but the data in sheet 1 and sheet 2 are identical. Like this ID is 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here also the ID is 1.
Mm-hmm.
So these two are identical. So if I have already added it, I can get with the reference. Okay, now I have
Okay.
added 1 for it. I need not add it again. You can again still rely on this one. Send get queue item, send the reference key. for get queue item. And if you get an output out of it, then the item is already available. You need
Okay.
not add
Yeah,
it
yeah.
again. Okay. But if the output is not available, then like if you get a null, then add a queue item.
Okay.
Okay. See, the concepts are simple. You just need to correlate and understand. Okay. Any other questions? Go ahead and ask. Don't stop. But Akshay, one thing is, see that interviewers sometimes can be moody, maybe due to his wife or his children not working with them properly. They can ask all the bullshit questions. Be calm and answer whatever you know. Okay.
Vajram,
Yes.
Ritesh here.
Yes, Ritesh. Tell me.
I understand the concept of reference key,
Mm,
but I'm not sure how to
mm.
means add those reference in, how to generate that reference key.
References key need not be generated. References key
Okay,
can be taken from the data that you already have.
okay.
For example, if you are processing the salaries of thousand members, can you use the
Mhm.
unique ID or the employee ID as a reference?
Yes, we can do that.
So you need to identify something that can be unique so that you can identify that particular transaction item is getting processed.
And if in case there is no any such things which are
Okay,
unique
got it,
things in my
got it.
then
Let's assume that there are 10 Ritesh in this team right now, and I have given Ritesh 1, Ritesh 2, Ritesh 3, Ritesh 4 to identify all the 10 members. So adding one to it will keep it unique.
okay,
Did you get
I
it?
got.
So you just
Yes,
need to identify what is that unique item that you need to add, or what is that unique reference that you need to add. There can be duplicates as well. For example, if I want to add like what Akshay have mentioned, like sheet 1, I can add reference as sheet 1 so that others will not read sheet 1 data. They will go with sheet 2. So what the other scenario that I can do is, if there are three sheets, sheet 3, now I have three dispatcher bots. Okay, now all the three dispatcher bots will read all the data. Okay, but only sheet 1, the first bot should process, sheet 2, the second bot should process, and sheet 3, the third bot should process. But everything are read by everyone. So what I will ideally do is, I will read sheet 1 and I will check if sheet 1 reference is already there in the queue. If it is there, then I will not add the items to queue. If it is not there, then I'll add the items. So if at least one item is added, will other bot will work on sheet 1? Confused?
No,
Okay. Let's connect tomorrow. Let's work with the code, then it's easy for you to understand.
Bajrang, I have already implemented this reference concept in my code.
Okay.
If, so can I show you, can I screen share it now?
Go ahead.
I mean, I
Go
also
ahead.
have some doubt in that.
Go ahead. Go ahead, please. Stopping the screen share. Yep.
Yeah, can you see the screen now?
No, we have the code and we have the answer. Okay. People who are waiting late will are actually getting more out of the session. Go ahead. Yes. Get queue items you are using, and see, in
Yeah,
get queue items you are sending out the reference. The problem here that you are say that I can see over here is request. Give me the
yeah,
access, please.
sure.
Okay. Now see here, you are just adding the items. Short date dot toString. We just need to see what is the date over here, and here get queue items you are using, and here output is queue items, right?
Yes,
Okay. If queue items count is equal to 0, then you are adding the items. For each item, you are adding a queue item. Is it right?
yes,
But what kind of reference are you placing it? See, here in add queue items again,
the same reference.
the same reference you are using. But there will be duplication of the references here, right? You cannot identify which item is what.
Okay, so tell me what is the best reference can I use here?
What is the input that you are using?
Okay, it is Excel data.
Show me the Excel data.
Okay, just a minute. This is the one.
Okay, can request ID be the unique item?
But I did not loop it before I assigned a reference.
Why do you need to loop it? You can just go ahead and search even in here, right? Like for this row, you
Okay.
can change this get queue items directly in here. Okay, so instead of
Okay.
sending a row of this one, why can't you just go ahead and send row of 0 dot toString? Okay, and then you can keep this loop outside the if condition.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now you can place the sequence and add queue item, get queue items and all. So add queue item can be placed in the if condition now. Okay, now here we go with get queue items. Let's go ahead and add it in here. So I just changed the way how you have written the code. So instead of writing an if condition, writing for loop, I wrote a row first or loop the row first, and I got the queue items. Okay, so I don't think this is the queue name. So the reference should be here. This is not the correct way.
Yeah.
So a reference should be starts with this one. Okay, and there can be only one queue. What is the queue name that you have? Do you have already a queue item?
Conf file. Okay, not that.
Okay, in orchestrator queue name,
Yeah.
is that what you are using?
Yes. Just a minute. You can copy it from here.
Okay, okay, go ahead and paste it. Okay, now you have the queue name, but you have also added the reference here. Okay,
Okay.
now this starts with is what you're checking and equals to also what you can also check it for. Now, if the item count is greater than equal to 0, then you are adding the queue item. But okay, guys, if you are asking, then how can you add the queue item? So this is the way. In reference, so whatever I'm checking with here, so this row of 0, that is a unique item, unique value. So I can just pass in the reference value instead of giving reference. So if you have typed in reference over here, then it will give you the reference text. But if you give in row of 0 dot toString, now what's
Okay.
happening? You're getting the value. So for each row you're checking if the queue name is available. But I have also said, right, you can also do something like continue on error.
Okay.
Can you open orchestrator queue?
Yeah, sure.
We will discuss it tomorrow as well. What is the queue you have where the queue is available?
Just
Okay. Go to queues. Okay.
yeah, this is my queue.
Okay. So now in server boards DNA, view transactions. I think the queue is already updated.
Yeah.
In orchestrator, is it updated?
Yes.
Okay, let's go ahead and debug the flow. Let's keep a breakpoint over here and let's see. So
Okay.
let's go ahead and add a breakpoint.
Save the file.
It will automatically save if you click on debug. Okay, now see what is the, so I do use this locals and watch regularly, and this is easy for you. So what is the current row? So in the current row you have all these items. In current row of 0, what do you have? Okay, I think I've added something extra.
Request ID.
Request
First
ID.
request ID.
Yes. So if I just continue, what it will do is it will just come back and wait for this. But if you go back to this particular sheet or this particular transaction item, you'll have request item now. Now this is a unique item.
Yeah.
Okay. Now if you
Okay.
are dealing with the same data, will this request ID be added again?
No.
So if I just go ahead and then continue without a breakpoint, so what will happen? Are we having all the items?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So now if I want to search for something, I can just go ahead and search with request ID, and I have all the details over here. So you need to identify that unique item and you can pass it. Now, if I want to send again, I have already, we have already written the code, right? Started the
Yeah.
process. Okay. There is something that's happening. Okay. Let's see your output. So are you unchecking it or are you just refreshing to,
Just refreshing.
okay. So what happens now? Continue. So I'm doing a testing over here.
Okay.
So you have used RE framework.
Yes.
So that is the use of RE framework. Now you need not check for system exceptions. The code is
Yeah.
already written. If there is business exception, you just need to write for the code and then that will automatically be processed. Okay. If you haven't implemented this in RE framework, what would have happened?
Then we need to create the exceptional part as well.
Exactly.
It would not have. Okay.
Exactly. You just need to recreate the exception part as well, right? Okay. Is it same for every item? 250 GB and 500.
Uh, No, no, no.
So let's stop it for now. Let's see what is the output that we are getting. Stop it. So where are you storing the output Excel output data?
I didn't update anything into the Excel. The thing is, we have to send an email to that particular
Mm,
email ID that was mentioned in the input
mm.
about all the server details. I can show you the output
Yeah,
in
go
the
ahead.
email.
Go ahead, please.
Okay. The control is lost.
Okay, given back.
Thank you.
So what are you using to send out emails?
Send SMTP activity.
Super. How many of you were able to complete the process? Okay, Ambika?
See, if you can see, two request IDs are fulfilled. So yeah, like I'm sending an email like this. Hi team, please find the below details and the captured server details.
Got it. One more question is, if you are, go to orchestrator queues.
Okay.
Is it a unique reference or not? Ambika, can you please unmute and talk just for a while? Go with the properties. No, not with the transactions, with the details. It's not
Okay.
board, it's not server.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Click on wait. Click on edit. Okay, so you don't have unique reference. So this will be a problem again for you.
Okay.
So if you haven't checked unique reference over here, then that will create duplicate references. Okay, but anyhow, in our code we are already checking it, so it will not create. But the best practice is to add unique reference over here.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, that's it. By the way, nice code. Ambika, who is your tester? By the way, Sindhura,
Tester Kavita.
Kavita, are you there?
I think
Okay,
she's not there.
okay. So get your code tested. I think this is completed, and I want a test report by today
Okay.
for everyone. For all the process, we need to have test reports for today. Good work, Sindhura.
Thank you.
Yeah,
This
but
is the teamwork.
yes, I do understand. But are you able to understand and know how teams will work at least now?
Yes.
Okay, so you have 2 more weeks. I guess this is the third week, right, of our training program.
Yes.
So we have 1 more week. So by that time, you start working on the other projects as well.
Okay.
Okay, done. Guys, go ahead and prepare your resumes, attend interviews, come up with questions. If you come up with questions, a complete session can go on a question, and that's fine because we have implemented or we have discussed many things today, not only restricted to one particular topic. Go to interviews and come back with questions. All the best. Bye, everyone.